This is a butterfly. Like all insects, it has a head, thorax, and abdomen, along with 6 legs and antennae. Butterflies also have 2 pairs of wings, the forewings and the hind wings. Most butterflies and moths have proboscises to drink up nutrients, but there are some species that don't have mouth parts at all. All butterflies belong to the biological order Lepidoptera, along with their friends, the moths. Moths are pretty similar to butterflies, although they are usually smaller and hold their wings in a tent-like position at rest. Butterflies keep their wings folded up at rest, and they tend to be more colorful. Sorry, moths. There are about 180,000 described species in the order Lepidoptera. They belong to over 120 different families and 46 superfamilies. Talk about a tense family reunion. So, why are butterflies and moths so important? For starters, they pollinate our flowers. That means that they help move pollen to different flowers so fertilization can occur. Pollinators are essential to both wild and cultivated ecosystems because most plants require fertilization to bear seeds or fruit. At least 80% of crop species worldwide require pollination in order to set seed. That's a hefty job for such a tiny insect. Additionally, entomophobia is on the rise in the United States, even though most insects are really beneficial. One of the best methods for overcoming a fear of insects is through exposure therapy, and butterflies are generally regarded as one of the safer insects to handle. Their proboscises and colorful wings are just too whimsical to dislike, and for that reason, lepidopterans are great insects to interact with if you're trying to overcome a phobia of bugs. Despite their importance to the environment, butterflies and moths are disappearing at an alarming rate. Lepidopterans are found on all continents except Antarctica, yet thousands of species around the world are considered endangered. Habitat loss, pesticide use, introduced diseases, and overcollecting are all factors in the decline of Lepidoptera globally. Butterflies and moths are particularly affected by agricultural industries that use pesticides and convert land for agricultural production. In the United States, the plowing of American prairies has decimated species like the meadow fritillary butterfly and the prairie sphinx moth. Perhaps the most famous butterfly in the world, the beloved monarch, is at risk of extinction due to climate change and habitat loss. Milkweed is the only plant that monarch caterpillars can eat, but the plant is commonly regarded as undesirable and is subsequently removed en masse from landscapes by weed killers or land conversion. Additionally, rising CO2 levels may be altering the toxicity of milkweeds, to the point where they become too toxic for the monarchs to eat. For butterflies and moths that are threatened by human activity, federal protections are essential in order to conserve existing populations, but the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service announced in December of 2020 that the monarch butterfly would not be granted federal status as an endangered species, despite its rapid decline. There is hope for lepidopterans at risk of extinction. In the United States, environmental advocates have been putting pressure on the government to ban neonicotinoids, a type of insecticide, and securing endangered species statuses for at-risk butterflies and moths guarantees them a myriad of federal protection. Many conservation organizations argue that the federal government should hold agribusinesses accountable for large-scale pesticide use and habitat degradation. But local movements can be equally beneficial for the butterflies and moths living in your own community. Growing host plants and pollinator-friendly flowers in your garden can go a long way in ensuring lepidopterans have a safe place to feed and reproduce. Providing habitats and leaving land untilled during the winter months allows butterflies whose larvae overwinter in the soil to have shelter while they wait for springtime. Avoiding pesticide use keeps butterflies and moths from being caught in the crosshairs of treatment aimed at other insects. And refraining from herbicides increases the number of host plants available for caterpillars. But your most important tool for protecting Lepidoptera is your voice. When you spread the word about how important butterflies and moths are to the environment and raise awareness of the threats they face, you can encourage others around you to do the same. Petitioning local governments to include green spaces in the community gives pollinators more habitat to thrive and makes the area prettier. When you tell others about the importance of protecting butterflies, they start to care about an issue that they may not have otherwise thought about. When we all work together to provide safe places for lepidopterans to survive and thrive, we can help secure their future in a rapidly changing environment. And when you spread awareness about the conservation of butterflies and moths, you may just inspire someone else to do the same.